John Rutherford, your colleague from Florida, put out a statement saying that opposition will only grow for Jim Jordan if there's another round of voting, and he said it's time for Jordan to understand this race is over. Would you agree?
Well, again, can't read minds, can't tell fortunes. I'm
yes,
sorry,
but do you think there should be a third vote?
I don't know I don't know how a third vote will come out. I think if he continues to lose ground, I'd advise him to withdraw at that point. But it doesn't matter, really, until the problem of party discipline is fixed. This is going to go on and go on and go on. I told the conference in a speech a few days ago that you could go through the roster of the entire Republican conference one by one. Nobody would get close to 217 votes. Probably the closest would be Kevin McCarthy, who got 188 votes when we elected him as Speaker back in January on the 15th ballot. But his vote in conference was 188 to 31. That's a larger majority by far than either Jordan or Scalise got in their votes in the conference. So it doesn't matter at this point until party discipline is restored.
Who can do that? Who can restore party discipline?
I've proposed a rule that simply says, look, we'll come into the conference, all viewpoints will be heard. If you've got a grievance, there'll be an expedited process for you to bring that grievance up, have it heard, and then we'll vote. And once we've voted, we'll all agree to respect the majority, even if we disagree with it. That's called democracy. Churchill once said that democracy is the occasional necessity of deferring to the opinions of others. And sometimes that's very frustrating. Sometimes it's bitterly disappointing. But more or less it works. As Churchill also said, many forms of government have been tried and will be tried in this world of sin and woe, and democracy is by far the worst, except for all the others that we've tried from time to time.
Tom McClintock never fails with a quote. Here we go. Mark in Cherry Hill, New Jersey, Democratic caller.
Yes. We've seen reporting that McCarthy was voted out as the Speaker because of his willingness to work with the Democrats for a continuing resolution. I'm wondering if that reporting is accurate. And I also wonder what the congressman sees as the role of the Speaker, and if a candidate for Speaker that was approved by the Republican conference said that he would work with he or she would work with Democrats in the House and the Senate on appropriations and legislation, would the Republican conference support him?
Well, let me first talk about the continuing resolutions. We passed as the deadline approached, we passed a continuing resolution that provided an 8% cut in non-defense discretionary spending over the next 30 days. That was voted down by 21 Republicans because it wasn't conservative enough, they said. Well, as the deadline was upon us, and in recognition that once a government shutdown occurs, it's going to be resolved in a way that the Republicans would not like. The Republican conference directed the Speaker to put a 45-day continuing resolution without those provisions. Kevin McCarthy said, "This is what I'm going to do. Are you okay with it?" And there weren't any objections. At least at that meeting. So he puts that on the floor, it passes, and that was the justification that Matt Gaetz and his 7 friends used to combine with the Democrats to oust the Speaker, paralyze the House, and leave us in the situation we're now in.
Richard's in Canada, a Republican watching there. Welcome to the conversation.
Yeah, good morning, sir. I have lots of Republican friends in Florida, Arizona, and California, and they all saw the testimony of Stephen Sun, the 30-year police chief who was fired by Nancy Pelosi. Mr. Sun said Nancy Pelosi lied about January 6th, and they're all angry, these voters that I speak to, that Kevin McCarthy did not keep his word and released the January 6th tapes to the public because they think he's protecting Nancy Pelosi and Chris Wray. How come you, sir, are not calling on Mr. McCarthy to release? How come you didn't call on Mr. McCarthy to release those January 6th tapes? And will you call on the new Speaker to release those January 6th tapes so the American people could see what really happened on January the 6th.
Louis Brandeis said sunlight's the best of disinfectants. I believe all of that should be out so that the American people can make an informed judgment about what actually happened. I don't know why Kevin McCarthy didn't release all the tapes. I know that he released them to news agencies, to Fox News, for example, which is so. The bottom line, though, is I think that all of that information should be before the American people. That's why freedom of speech, by the way, is so important, and why any attacks on it are so lethal to a democratic process.
Let's hear next from Daryl in Idaho, Independent.
Good morning. Basically, yes, I was supposed to get out of the Marine Corps in September of 1965, and everybody got extended for Vietnam in 1965. And basically, I only had to stay in for 4 more months, and I got out. And all I did was the domino effect. So I found out that wasn't true. So now I'm in a situation where here's Russia. They are now no longer our friends, and who were our enemies are now our friends. They millions and millions of people killed by the Japanese and the Germans, and that's okay. And not even 100 years went by. And here's Russia.
I don't think anybody said that was okay. I believe we had a war that settled that rather dramatically.
Nuclear weapons, that should make you all scared.
Well, I'm not quite sure the point you're making.
Yeah,
Okay.
He's not there anymore. I will share with you that CNN is reporting the State Department is calling all Americans to leave Lebanon. That just in and from CNN. Your reaction?
Oh, it's a very volatile situation and very frightening. And a reason why we've got to be sure that Israel has everything that they need to defend their borders and to restore stability to that region.
Brian in Brockton, Massachusetts, Democratic caller.
Yes, I wonder if the Saudis are still dropping our American-made cluster bombs on Yemen. How much money in aid and arms sales to Saudi Arabia in the last 10 years? I wonder, I bet you if Jamal Khashoggi was alive, I'm sure he'd have something to say about that. Trump increases spending. How many...
All right, Congressman, I'll have you respond.
Bottom line is we shouldn't be sending aid to our enemies, and we've been doing that for a very long time, and it hasn't worked out very well for us.
Saudi Arabia an enemy?
I believe they are, or at least they're certainly not a friend.
Why?
I think that they were complicit in the attack on 9/11, passively complicit. They knew about it. There's plenty of evidence of that, and did not pass that information along.